Yeah.
The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the Panther. That dude Fizz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot the death, oh yes, these are the sports podcasts live as a pros course. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the force ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah. No need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people start five. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five, we got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five, we got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
We here, y'all. Hands is more ashy than ever. But whatever. It's me, the boy, the mayor. No need for the long introduction. Y'all know who the fuck I am already. Y'all should know what to do by now. That boy got the box like he loves to be on. He's inside the purple box today, but hooksrub.com. Use the code 20% off your order using the code START5. This is Tyrone's show today, but we'll explain that in a second as we go right down the line.
What up, y'all? What's going on? It's spring. I wish spring would fight back because this is fucking cold out here. And I'm tired of it. I just want warm weather now. Besides that, tired. Don't want to go to work tomorrow, but it is what it is. We keep it moving. Pass it to the man to my right, your left, my right.
Yep, I'm glad to be here once again. I ain't worried about spring or winter or fall or any of that because I work outside, so it's all disturbing to me no matter what. It gets too hot, it gets too cold. So the weather don't bother me. The weather did do me a favor this week because it was real windy. And so when it's real windy, the crane shut down. So I was making money without having to do too much work. So I appreciated the weather this week, you know what I mean? But other than that, I'm ready to go. And Jamal, what's up, man?
What's up? My favorite vacation in sunny Florida, city as hell. But I'm happy going in this school. Looking forward to the show. And what's up with everybody? Hope y'all doing well. And pass it over to Ed.
I guess you passed it over to me.
Yes, he did. That Florida Wi-Fi, that hotel Wi-Fi sucks.
Yeah, man. I'm about to say you coming via satellite, like the 80s.
I got this hotel dial-up
Wi-Fi.
Jamal's on closed circuit television.
Looking all dark pixelated.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, man. He frightens me whenever he got on golf attire, man. Because I already know, he get kind of clumsy when he get on a golf course, man. So I get nervous, man.
This is true. This is true.
That's a wild man in a golf cart, though.
Hey yo. Well, because Big O always likes to forego his introductions to start some bullshit. How's everybody's
Why
weeks
not?
been?
Y'all know who I
Week has been solid. No complaints, I guess. Just trying to get back into like a rhythm of things. I gotta start getting on my grind with a few things, so I gotta buckle down. But besides that, week was okay. No complaints.
am. Yeah, man.
Word.
It's a good week. It's a good
Yeah,
week.
like I said, it was the wind shut me down, so I was chilling. The operator said, "Hey, it's too windy to work the crane. No problem, Bob. Chill out." I mean, and then we were trying to get some stuff done in between the gusts because it was like the steady wind was cool, but it was the gusts that was like messing everything up. But then as soon as one of those we was picking up a sheet and it spun around, the operator said, "Oh, that's it. Put it down." I said, "I'm cool with it."
Word. I mean, I even though I get to be in a car all night, man, the slightest bit that I cracked the window, that wind was whipping through the freaking car. This weather was all over the place this week. Like, I mean, the week before, which we apologize to anybody watching, listening. We didn't do a show last week because everybody had a little something going on. The week before had everybody fucked up though. There was people
Yeah,
out
because it was spring.
shorts, t-shirts, running everything, fucking running around half naked because it hit 60 degrees. And then nature was like, nah, like it hit you with the fishing pole joint. You got to be quicker than that, or more like you got to slow down. To be honest with you, because that shit went straight. That the weather just went straight down to like fucking 30 some nights, fucking 20 some nights, 40
He
degrees.
said
Wind was
that
the
wind
You
was
know what it
no
is, though?
joke.
the rain
You know what
yesterday
it
was
is, though?
nasty.
I'm gonna tell you like this, right? So Mother Nature don't play that shit. And she already be mad about these hoes having their asses out in the summertime. So as soon as they got a little nice, the hoes put their asses out, and Mother Nature was like, "Oh, fall back on that ass out. I don't like it." So she's like, "All right, let's put some wind up there real quick."
shout
And,
out,
and
shout out to Fordham Road, Jamaica Ave. Shout out.
Yeah, it was dumb out there. These people was like half naked for no reason, and now everybody back bundled up like we're in like some like fucking winter vortex or some shit. But yeah, my week though, I'm just glad I got through it, and I'm still breathing to see it. It was fucked up. I got my first fucking write up, or as we call on my job, a complaint. I got written up for some shit that I should have never been written up for, and I already told my union I'm like I'm more mad. I'm not even gonna explain it to y'all because it won't make sense to y'all. Just know, and I'm not saying this because I'm saying this because this is actual facts. What I got written up for, I should have never got written up for. And then the fact that my write up didn't even start as a warning letter, it went straight to complaint, was even more fucked up. But it was fucked up that it was even written because I got it written. I got written for some shit that nobody gets written up for. That the level of work that was quote unquote left out on the job that I got written up for never gets called out by anybody. And then there's a whole other dynamic within where I work where, you know, we catch
So,
more than others
I was
do.
about to say that's what it sounded like.
It does no,
so
well that does happen, but I'm listening.
does this affect your probation?
I hope not, because my probation technically is done this Tuesday. This Tuesday is my last day of
Right.
probation, and unfortunately, like the rest of people, like the rest of the people from like my group of my hiring class, because like we got separated into twos just because of manpower and OJT and stuff like that, and the amount of people in Floyd Bennett Field during training, like they split the class in half. So like one group did in at the training center facility training while everybody else was out in the field doing training, and then the flip flop things like that. And a lot of the people from my group, 90-day extensions of probation, 40-day extensions, 30-day extensions, like I was fortunate, and I described here in slight ways the hellhole that I work in, and I made it scot free until this fucking week. But somebody from my class who I work with, this kid has been bulletproof, and he should have had the amount of complaints that should have equaled up to either he got extended for mad long or demoted, but he didn't catch nothing, nothing, and all the shit that he was bulletproof from, everything that he was bulletproof from, like he should have. And I'm not calling for that because it's my guy, but truth is truth. You know what I'm saying? Reality is reality, and I can't even, I can't harp on that because he ain't. I'm not working his time. I'm working my time. He made it. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? He made it bulletproof. I'm glad. Congratulations. I made it fairly bulletproof until the last fucking week. And I shouldn't even have had this shit written. But then, even worse, I go in to work my day off, which was Wednesday, with, a time and a half day. So I got to go in. And I get into a fucking accident going into work. So the irony that we were gonna do cars this week, and I go and smack my car up unintentionally, and the woman that I hit was even understanding because she was the one that uttered out of her mouth first. It's neither one of our faults. It's because the cars ahead of us came to a dead stop, with nobody in front of them, no light. It was an open fucking service road. Came to a dead stop, which caused her to stop short while I'm trying to accelerate to go around to go to the left to get on the Staten Island Expressway.
Mm. You
And
clipped her.
I clipped her, and I took the worst of it. I should have freaking let me try to pull up the I can try to pull up my picture. But yeah, it was I caught the worst of it. I caught the worst of all of it. But because I kind of know what I'm doing in some ways when dealing with my car and stuff like that. Like it wasn't the worst word. Well, no, it was bad. Y'all are about to see it in a second because I just sent it to the computer, so y'all are about to see it. He's about to see it right now, and I was able to take some zip ties to just keep the bumper up, and yeah, just gotta do what you gotta do to just make sure the joint keeps rolling. The car's still rolling. It still works.
Mm.
Damn.
That
I'm
light,
sorry.
that,
Damn.
Mm.
that light was already
Mm.
hanging.
Mm.
Now I just unplugged it. The other one of the other light harnesses, whatever it is connected to, I covered it in clear tape. So hopefully no water got through. I didn't take a picture of the tape job that I did, which actually worked out pretty well because the yesterday's torrential downpours, the inside didn't get soaked. I taped it good enough that it could just kind of roll down, but if it could had the potential to splash under. But funny enough, this headlight still works.
Damn.
So that headlight still works.
Wow.
Yeah, you got a little bit of frame damage in the front because the way the hood is up.
No, the hood was already fucked up. That bend there, well, we're going to,
Oh, okay.
we're going to tell insurance that it dented the hood. We'll see
I was
about that.
about.
I got to bring it to a shop.
Yeah.
But
I was about to say, man.
it's more the fender. Yeah, my hood was peeling over some time already. But that front fender is what bent out to make the hood look like that. That
Yeah.
gap look like that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you got to place the whole quarter panel and a fender. Yep.
Yep, the whole and that bumper, all the clips and everything.
Yeah.
How's the thing?
All
Like
that shit snaps.
the points where the clips go, they didn't tear. They were still the
Yeah,
holes
well,
are
that was
still there.
good.
So that's why I was able to I got
See,
little fat zip ties and put 3 on
yeah.
there, zipped it up, and it's up there for now. It's up
Mm.
there for now. So that was my week. It's fucked up. But we had some other things. I mean, what's some things that we could get into before we finally get into Tyrone's tournament? I got it all lined up right now, ready to go. I'll just give you a little preview now, because as always, Tyrone requested to shuffle this shit. So we got the cars here. We'll give you a little preview. We got the 88 Buick Grand National, 85 Camaro IROC Z, the
Go white boy.
DeLorean. Oh, word. Shout outs to Bay Ridge. Shout outs to Bay Ridge in the 80s. 5.0
Goomba City. Another wife beater car.
The Mustang GT 5.0. A Porsche 911. This one is an interesting one. He threw the minivan in there, the Dodge Caravan, the BMW 5 Series. He put 91 Chevy Impala SS. Now, personally, me, I would have put the 96, but it's kind of the same model, so it don't even really matter. 93 Acura Legend, aka the car that Ludacris is making famous once. I mean, even though we all knew this for years, but I'll call this the Ludacris car, just like how I used to call the Chevy Impala the Ice Cube car because of All About the Benjamins. The Ford Bronco, aka we know whose car that is. The 2000 H2 Hummer, a personal favorite of mine. I had a 98 version. It was my first car, Mitsubishi Eclipse. He put the 96, same kind of body style, couple little changes. And then another car I actually owned that was actually a really good car, Chrysler 300, the Chevy Corvette, the 93 Honda Accord, and then the E-Class, the 97 E-Class. Now, the only thing I had to say about two of your picks, Tyrone, the Act Legend and the Honda Accord, same car. It's the same car. You picked
one was
same,
a little bit better.
Well,
it's not.
Acura the luxury.
It's not the same car.
It is. Acura is just the luxury version of Honda.
Oh, you know what's missing off that list, Tyrone? The Dodge Neon, because everybody had them.
Nothing's missing off of my list. Okay, how many cars did we had 16? Well, y'all wanna up it to 100?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Y'all wanna up it to 100? Don't get too started. Get started. I want to know. Get started because I only have 16 cars to choose from.
The Nissan, that 91, 92, 93 Nissan Maxima needed to be up there. The Jetta needed to be up there.
What? In place of what?
And the MP,
the clamshell?
The MPV.
No, the clamshell.
The clamshell before the Dodge Caravan.
The clamshell Nissan 300 Z with the clamshell body. He was all driving them shits.
Yep.
What about the
No, we wasn't. No, we wasn't. Y'all old.
The MPV started. The MPV started everything. That come before the Dodge Caravan.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't, bro. No, it didn't, bro. Dodge Caravan is the king in chief.
Nah, MPV, man.
Y'all giving up the.
He's just thinking MPV is fat.
Y'all giving up the material for the tournament.
No, we not, because I got some things to say.
Listen, I only have 16 cars to put on there. Okay. So I picked 16. Could it have been 25? Yeah. Can I admit the MPV and the Maxima should have been on there? I can admit that, but I only have 16. So
right, yeah, Toyota Cressida though.
32.
The Toyota Cressida.
The Toyota
Cressida. Yeah, why don't we throw the fucking dollar vans on there then? The fucking that look like bubbles. Yeah, let's add some more. Let's add some more. The fuck. But like Tyrone said, it's his list. Just like the list that still hasn't fucking created.
Hey,
but
man,
we'll talk about that later.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy with my list, man. I mean, I'm happy with it, but I'm not happy with the choice that I picked. I'm happy with the choices.
I love throwing you under the bus, even though I don't want to. But You see
He did it
how
to
hard
himself.
this is now, right? Every time you scrutinized me and building these tournaments, you see how hard it is, right, good brother?
Yo, TJ, how many times I did it? Wasn't it one? Yo, it was one time. It was all because of that damn which one was it? The '90s rap albums. Yo,
You took dumb long to do that though. You took dumb long to do that one day.
But you learned how difficult this shit is, right?
all right,
I'm
I like Jamal's tag.
all right.
Yo, can y'all hear me? Y'all hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah, my bad,
clearly.
bro. All right,
Clearly, you
that's
got the kids in the pool and everything.
It might be better without the headphones.
Yeah, the headphones pick up everything.
Yeah, if I don't put the headphones on though, I can't hear y'all.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't hear us. Yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna make it work.
Well, we make it work.
We're
Well,
gonna
what's
make it
been
work.
going on? So, what we got for something? I guess. What's been going on around the
Oh,
world before we get into this tournament?
did you see what Shohei Otani's interpreter did, bro?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so explain that to me because I've been getting bits and pieces.
Oh yeah.
That was some dirty shit, bro. That was some dirty shit right there. Your man took what is it, like $4 million? I
Yeah.
don't know.
So roughly around $4 to $5 million was siphoned out of Shohei Otani's bank account and used to pay
gamble.
or to gamble. And then allegedly, like he also had some debts out there, and Otani paid him for him and all of that. And man, there's a lot to this because this looks like some like I don't think Shohei. I'm gonna say it like this. I don't think Shohei was actually the one gambling, but this ain't
He
a good
wasn't.
look. This ain't a good look, and this is a part of your camp. And Pete Rose still ain't in the Hall of Fame because of gambling. And they're just taking the words in defense of Shohei of, oh, I never bet on baseball, and that's okay.
That's how
Pete
Pete Rose
Rose
started
never
too.
bet on his team, and
Yeah,
that's
but
still
you
not
know what?
okay.
If they say how he siphoned the money from him, then you really can't get him for it. So you got to take Shohei's word for it. Like, but I don't know. Could it be some crime shit, some yakuza shit on the background? Like they getting money from this dude and they trying to extort him or something like that. You know, who knows, bro? But to extort like $4 to $5 million and your man's not missing it. Like, how you not miss that shit? You taking out a couple $100,000 at a time?
How much was Otani's payday for signing with the Dodgers? That's why he didn't miss it. That's why he didn't miss it.
But also that payday is really when the at the end of
it's on the back end, yeah.
It's all back end money, pause. But shit, still to just have made that much money and you don't know. I mean, but you know what? This is why we're not millionaires and they are, and they have accountants that count their money. All they do is just check in with their accountants. They're not like us with fucking banking apps looking to see, oh shit, my shit's negative this week. You know what I'm saying? Like
if you have 300 million, you don't need a banking app, bro. You just know you got money in the bank.
Yeah, hold on. I don't even think it's that. I think that when you got enough money to where you can just be like, if you want something, you get it. I don't have to check no bank app, no bank account, or nothing. If I got an accountant
It's
and
called
I know
fuck
I got
you money,
money, I
Tyrone.
get it. I can call my accountant up and be like, no, I'm just saying, I can call my accountant up and be like, yo, I want a spider, I want this, I want that, and I can go home and it be at my crib already. So I don't give a fuck, really, kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like if I want something, I make a call, and when I get home, it's already at the crib. So I'm not really checking for the loot like that. You know what I mean? And these accountants know when they got a person like that, and when they know they got a person like that, you know they get their little check Jay on the side.
yeah.
And they know nobody
and it's
gonna
the
know.
thing. He's not
So,
even the
but
accountant.
they gotta alert. They gotta alert them when it's big perk. I mean, what is it like? Anything over $1.50? Please tell me somebody's in my account
No,
without my
how many times?
authorization.
How many times you don't went to the market, right? And you bought something, you forgot you bought that shit. You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, I forgot I bought ketchup. So ketchup is small, but them with big money things, you could be like, they could just be like, yo, remember you bought that car 2 years ago? You gave it to this person, and you're like, damn, I bought a car 2 years ago. What happened to it? Oh, you gave it to charity.
Nah, word. It just shows how broke we are because that 5 million or 4 million was like $5 missing. I'm a know when $5 is missing out of my wallet. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that was. That's what that was to him. But again, we keep talking accountant, and it was his fucking interpreter.
Yeah, it was an interpreter. His right hand man.
Dude, right? Yeah. But dude been around baseball for a minute before Otani. You know, so that's one thing. And two, let's talk about the elephant in the room here. As much as I love it, as much as we all love it, organized gambling, if they're not careful, organized gambling is going to be the downfall of all our major sports. Because
no, it's not. No, it's not.
What happened to bigger staff? What happened to bigger staff last week? This dude was approached by some goons, you know, over FanDuel and shit. Same shit.
So what do you say? And then are you trying to say we need to get rid of gambling again?
It's muddy in the waters.
The way you framed it, the way you just framed it now was like it needs to go. After it just took decades long, it took a decades long process to even become legal in most states. I'm sorry because I totally disagree with that because I'm a person that even believes as far as like, yo, why are drugs illegal? Why is weed illegal? Drugs are illegal. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's only illegal because of certain drugs are only illegal because of misuse or because some big ass corporation doesn't control it all.
Right. No, this is different. This is different because look at this topic alone could be the topic for the day. You know,
that's
any
why
other
we talk
day.
About it.
But what I'm saying, like think about Tim Donaghy, right? Think about how he changed the outcomes of some games just off of him betting on games and all that, you know, that he was residing over. Like organized gambling could really change the dynamic of you know, the integrity of sports.
Well, here's the thing.
That's only if they're getting paid for it, Tyrone.
And
but it has though because listen, few years before this organized gambling, I ain't never, you know, everything is suspect now in sports now. Everything is suspect. The fucking Super Bowl, everything that happened, the holding call on the Eagles was suspect because of organized gambling. Everybody said, oh, the Eagles got that they called that holding call because somebody had a big bet and paid. It's involving itself into the sport. It is because now a lot of people are making assumptions, and every time they team lose, or every time a big comeback happens, or every time a person like in the NBA where a third string guy take a dunk at the end of the game to change the score, and everybody goes, it all goes back to, oh, they must have been gambling. He must have been trying to change the point spread, and it's kind of starting to become annoying.
Here's a perspective on that point right there about the whole last point thing. You know, a lot of the times the players are quote unquote just gambling on themselves and their fucking contracts because they took that last dunk to get them last 2 points to maybe clear an incentive. Point number 2 that I really wanted to go to in O's point, it's not going to fully affect something that's always been there. And I hate saying that like, yo, it happens everywhere label, but this has been happening for decades before organized sports. I mean, before legalized sports betting was even a thing. Yeah. And it was, I mean, sports betting has always been a thing. It's just now that it's up in front and in the open that we can, for the most part, almost every state can do it. That's where the difference lies, because even in the states where it's not legal, guaranteed when this football season comes around, Somebody in that town got them long white sheets. We all know about those sheets with the spreads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's got them. It was
Or
happening. Go watch that documentary about SMU. It's been happening in with fucking Eric. What is it? What's the fucking running back's name? Eric what?
Eric
Eric,
Dickerson.
Eric
Eric
Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson. Eric,
And
Eric
all of
Dickerson.
them boys,
Eric
you know
Dickerson.
what I'm saying? They was
Yeah.
getting paid crazy behind the scenes because
But
of
but Dan, the money is different now. Back then it was doing it in back, back rooms or whatever the case is. Now everybody has access to it on their phones, their tablets. You have shows solely on sports betting. It's become right now. It's going to become a multi-billion-dollar
It already is.
thing.
It already
You know
is.
what I'm saying?
thank you, TJ. I was gonna say it already
So
is.
I mean, the money is different.
But keep it real too, or let's keep it real with this aspect too. Oh, the game has already changed just due to fantasy sports. Fantasy sports already started and dictated a lot of these air quotes changes, like what Tyrone mentioned, the whole scoring at the end of the game when it's late, when you don't have to score, things like that. Fucking just betting on like uniform colors, betting on is this player gonna wear a towel on the right or the left side today, things
My
like that.
running back needs 3 yards so I can get 100 so I can win this. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
or it just
it's the
fantasy
same shit.
sports in
It's
general.
like,
Fantasy sports in general already changed that. It's just now we
it
as a
did.
people have free access to being able to put up money. I mean, how many times in an episode have you sat here and said, "Yo, I'm watching my FanDuel. Oh man, I got this much on fucking
Oh yeah, listen,
Man
I love
U."
FanDuel. I mean, it's still. I think I started by saying, yeah, I love my sports betting, but it's supposed to. I don't want to say it's supposed to be like Lotto,
Oh, but you
but
know how hard it is. You know how hard it is to do that if you're an official or any type of referee or anything like that and not trace that money back to you. It's very hard, bro. You have to put that shit in somebody else's name and hopefully they gift you something after you retire type shit. Like you're never touching that money if you're smart.
True.
Even the
players.
players
It's not
can't
really
do it
that
like
hard.
that.
Never said that.
The
Donnie, he got
players,
the
still
whistle
the
believe
players,
blown.
do
they're
it.
never gonna do that.
Yo,
You know what
Donnie,
I'm
he got the
saying?
whistle blown, man. Donnie, he got the whistle blown. If he hadn't got the whistle blown, man, my man still be doing that shit. It ain't hard, bro. If you a scammer and you a sneaky ass guy and you a scammer and you doing that kind of foul shit, that shit ain't hard at all, bro.
I was gonna say,
But they
players
looking
out
for
there
shit like
still
that
believe that
now.
he do it, man.
I don't know. It's hard. It's
Like
hard. It's
to build on what you just said, TJ, they're looking for the shit now. And that's the difference in where we're at in these days, is the fact that they have whole teams of people looking into consistently behind that. So it's not going to change much when it comes to sports that already hasn't been there. That's really the point that I'm trying to make. I hate that
also.
whole. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're not gonna tarnish the brand. You're not gonna disrespect the shield in NFL. You're not gonna disrespect the logo in the NBA or the MLB. You're not going. They are not trying to fuck that up. Baseball already went through crazy shit like that already. It was a bad look for them, and they lost a lot of fans, and they lost millions, if not billions, of dollars behind a lot of shit that they did. You don't think the NFL didn't see that, and the NBA said that's not going to be us. We're not going out like that.
Yeah.
There are people actively, like Dan said, that's their job to see who's tarnishing the brand. They're not trying to get their brand fucked up, bro.
I don't know. I seen that's the caucus team, man. I'm not convinced.
Well, like, what was the receiver? Was it Calvin Ridley or somebody else that was from the Falcons that got
Ridley.
bad? It was Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It was Calvin Ridley.
if there was a
Yeah.
clear sign, of how easy these players are getting caught, he's one of them. You know what I'm saying? Tim Donaghy, it took time for them to catch him, but they got his ass. And that's where it's honestly is where it's more egregious when it comes to the referees than the players. Because again, the players, it's been a historic. We've already known about people from even like high school levels, air quotes, throwing games because either a bookie
You
was on their back or they had money on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a new problem. It's not a new issue. It's just how do these leagues now tighten up to make sure that
hey,
it happens
It's
less and less.
I'm
it's gonna
sorry.
have to be written into
I'm
contracts,
sorry.
bro. That's the only way. It's got to be
I'm
written into
100.
contracts
I'm
because
100% sorry to tell y'all, but I'm just saying this right now. If I was a receiver, a ball player, or anything in any league right now, you best believe I'm gonna be making some of that gambling money. You best believe my cousin and them gonna have a couple dollars in their bank account putting money on your boy right here. Ain't no way I'm not gonna do it. It's too big money. It's too easy, and I can get my
But
family involved, and they can get their own money. They won't dig in my pocket. They won't
That's
empty
where
my
you're
money.
gonna get caught, and that's
exactly.
where you're gonna get caught,
Hey, I'm not gonna
and that's
get
where you're
caught. I
gonna
ain't
get caught.
I'm
No,
telling you right now that there are thousands of athletes right now that's involved in this gambling shit, and we don't know, and we ain't never gonna know. I
you
guarantee you
Pyro,
that.
I don't disagree with you as far as that, as far as the amount of people probably be in it. But when you're making these multi-million dollar contracts, it's stupid for you to go for the small change. But yo, maybe tell your family members, yo, do this. I'm looking to do this today. I'm trying my best to do this today. And then let that, like you said, let them make their money, but don't let it tie back to you. Why is as a player making multi millions? What is? I mean, that extra 5,000 in a bet could be a bill for you. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't
But
no 5,000. I'm talking big cash. I ain't talking
no,
no
no
5 grand.
shit. I'm not. I'm just throwing numbers out there. It's not nothing specific. I'm just throwing numbers out there. But point is, even if it's just an extra million, okay, cool, you got that. But now you get bagged a
God
year down
damn.
the line, you're in your contract year and you get zapped up, you get yapped up for that shit, and then all of a sudden, you're now suspended in your contract year. What if you wanted to leave that team
It's
and
like
now you had a clause in your contract to where now your time is extended because you didn't complete this year? You still owe us this year. Jamal, I didn't go back to what you were saying.
I'm saying the only way around this is that contracts are gonna have. Sorry, sorry. The only way around this is it's gonna the verbiage is gonna have to be put in contracts that if you are a pro athlete with a pro signed contract in any league, you cannot have accounts in any of those betting things. It's the only way, and it's probably a fair trade. If you got a pro athlete salary, you probably can't dibble and dabble in it. But they're gonna have to get ahead of it, and they're gonna have to be specific now because otherwise, it's gonna spiral out of control quick. They really absolutely. It's going to have to be put in the contract that if you get caught doing X, Y, Z, it's not suspension. It's loss. It's voiding of contract or it's loss of a year's salary. It's going to have to be drastic. That's the only way you're going to stop it.
Or banning from the league.
You know,
And
you know
then
what I
That
how
mean?
many
that I
And they
mean,
can do that, but
as
then
much as we say it's drastic, that would be the only thing, in my opinion,
yeah,
that'll work.
hmm
Complete ban from the league. No 1 year
players
suspension. None of
union
that.
ain't gonna agree to that. The players union ain't gonna agree to that.
Right?
it
They're
depends
not.
on the union. But it depends. It all depends, man. I mean, because they're gonna have to do something because they're not banning Otani from the league. He brings too many foreign eyes to the game. It's a growth
Yeah.
market. They're not trying to mess that up. So he's good. But
and baseball needs him.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's gonna have to be it's gonna be something drastic like voiding of contract or loss of salary. And not only voiding of contract, you cannot play for another team or get rehired by the sport until the duration of your expired contract uh, is up. You know.
That's what.
But that would be it. Like, because again, we're talking Otani, 10-year deal, and say you got bagged in year two,
That's
you
it.
can't do shit for 8 more years.
Hmm.
Look how you fucked your life up because you wanted to make a little $1 million bet.
Mm.
That's right. No Roger, no rerun, no rent.
You know what I'm saying? Like you fucked up your life over a little bet. And again, to say it like that for us, that's a big bet for us. For them, like we said, that $1 million, that 4 or 5 million that Shohei Otani lost, that's $5 to us. That was a sandwich. That was a McDonald's fucking double cheeseburger bundle. That was lunch for the day. You know what I'm saying? That's big money. You know, for us brokies, that's yeah. Well, for
That's significant.
fucking a $700 million a $700 million athlete losing 5 million to your fucking interpreter is like I said. I dropped the quarter on the ground. I'll let somebody else pick it up. You know, so but it is what it is, man. But like Tyrone mentioned, though, how many of them athletes be buying cars and stuff and forget? Oh wait, I bought that. Oh wait, yeah, I bought that.
Yep,
That's
it
what I'm
Let's,
happens.
saying. So you can be finagled at any time when you're dealing with that kind of money. When you're the type of person that just can call, make calls, and get shit, you don't check to make sure you got it. You don't check to make sure nothing. And anytime something is missing, it always takes like a few years for you to figure out that something's missing. And by the time you do, the accountant can be like, "Yeah, well, you bought a car. You bought this for your grandmom. You gave your cousin $1 million for the chicken joint." You know what I mean? They always got something in the background that they can throw that money at that you can just be like, "Oh yeah, my bad." And you're not never, they're trustworthy, right? So you're never gonna think they're stealing from you. So soon as they come up quick, fast, remember you gave that money to your cousin, you just like, "Oh yeah, my bad, bro," and you keep it moving.
yeah, you take the L and keep it moving. But I brought that back up so we could get into the tournament because I wanted to ask. I wonder how many of these cars were purchased by some of these athletes and they forgot. How many of these cars? I mean, keep it honest. How many of these cars on Tyrone's list did any of y'all actually own? Because as I was saying when I read the cars down before, like my first car was this Eclipse, and then years later, like well, years later, after I had that Expedition, I had this Chrysler 300. And it is a really good car, and I still want the Hummer. I still want. Has any of y'all ever owned any of these cars that Tyrone picked?
I used to sell Chrysler 300s as my first job as a car salesman. So I drove that a lot. One of my good friends' moms drove a Buick Grand National. I rode in it. She wouldn't let nobody drive that shit. I drove a Mustang GT 5.0. I drove a Dodge Caravan. I drove an H2. I drove a Vet. That's it. Everything else, I never been in. I've been in mostly all those cars. I've been in all those cars, but I've never like driven all of them.
Yeah, I've never
I,
been inside
I've
a DeLorean yet.
I've driven
Oh
all of
yeah, I've
those
been inside
cars.
a DeLorean.
I've driven all of those cars except for a DeLorean, but I've been in one of the DeLoreans, and yeah, and I owned a couple of them. I owned I definitely owned the Dodge Caravan. I owned the Acura Legend at one point in time. I owned the Honda Accord at one point in time. So I've owned some of these cars,
Oh
but
my bad.
I've drove all of them
I
except the
definitely
DeLorean.
do. I definitely owned the Dodge Caravan for like 3 months.
Oh, Jamal.
Nah, my papa, yo, I drove in one. I drove in one, and and one of the cars that I lobbied for that didn't make the list. I
We're
had that
talking
car.
about what's on the list. Oh,
Okay, then no, I didn't own anything. I drove in. I drove in damn near half of them. You know, the Legends and the Accords. My pops had a Caravan. But yeah, that's about it.
No,
It's
I
more for me
drove
to
in
see.
about five of these joints. That's about it, man. I didn't own any of them. My pops had the Buick, though, the Buick Grand National. But for the rest
Nice.
of yeah, um, the rest of
He
these, nah,
probably
man.
didn't let you touch that.
No sir,
He never let you touch
no sir.
that.
That's not
so,
how he
so
rolls.
once again, so once again, to go through the list for anybody listening or wanting to play along with us, we got an '88 Buick Grand Nationals, '85 Brooklyn Bay Ridge, aka the Chevy, the IROC Z Camaro, the DeLorean, the '88 Mustang 5.0, Porsche 911, Dodge Caravan, 5 Series BMW, '91 Impala, '93 Act Legend, the OJ, the H2 Hummer, aka, you know what? If I wanted to give a name to the H2 Hummer, we could call that the Patrick Ewing. Because if y'all Knicks fans, y'all remember when they did the retirement celebration for Patrick Ewing, they gave him the H2.
Yep.
But '98 Eclipse. I almost said my car because it's '96 Eclipse, but I had a '98 Eclipse Spider, Chrysler 300, Chevy Corvette, '93 Accord, and the '97 E Class, aka the Buggy Eye Benz. So Tyrone, you said shuffle. How many clicks?
3.
Is one. There's two. Come on, there's two. And there is three. Stop the screen share. Let me get to the tournament page now, and let's get this tournament started. So while I get this started, what inspired the cards tournament, Tyrone?
Um, I just felt like we all are men of a certain age, and I remember like during the '90s and the 2000s, like that cars were kind of like something that was kind of like important to when you first start driving, what kind of car you had, and all that. And I felt like because of our age group, like that some of these cars would resonate with you guys, and I wanted to do something different. You said no sports, and then we did like movie stuff, and I was just trying to find something different. And I felt like because of how old we are, and because we all been driving for a long ass time, that cars would be something that we can get into.
Word, word, word. And I kind of used to be a car guy, but I will say I definitely wanted at least one of these. We got the '93 Acura Legend versus the Ford Bronco. Now, I have the pictures, but I would have to stop the screen share of the tournament. So it kind of defeats the purpose of showing the pictures of the cars. But y'all should know what these cars look like. And Tyrone, because this is your tournament, you should be kicking this off, or you should be the one passing it around. So let's go.
All right, I'm gonna start from the bottom and come up. So Jamal, you kicking it off for this one.
No, you know how mad I was when OJ went on that run with the white Ford Bronco because he messed it up for everybody.
Except Ford.
So to this day, I still want the white Ford Bronco, even the new joints. So I'm going with the Bronco.
Oh, it's from the bottom up,
Oh,
bro. It's up to
Oh,
you.
my fault, my fault. I'm here
oh.
looking to see who's ordering shit. Nah, man. Acura, the 90. I may be a little inebriated, but nah, the '93 Acura. That was one of those vehicles. That was one of those cars growing up, man. Me, I was about out of high school around that time. That was one of them cars that I always wanted as a kid, man. So yeah, I'm going with the '93 Acura on that one.
Big O picks the drug dealer car.
Was
Jamal
that what
picks
that
the.
was?
It was one of them.
Oh, that was the Flatbush and Church Avenue special. You know, there's some communities that car was rocking heavy with, bro. You
Yeah.
know the deal.
Yeah.
TJ, it's
TJ.
on you.
Okay. So, yo, the Ford Bronco, of course, yet again, a black man made this car famous. It was already had its own weight, but he took it to another stratosphere. And but that Acura, I don't know about anybody in the other regions or other parts of the country But if you had an Act Legend at 93 back in the day,
You was
if you
that
pulled
dude.
up, you could get any chick you wanted, bro. That shit was a magnet. You could pull up to the spot with the BBS rims on that shit. What? Son, it was a wrap. All you had to do was sit on the hood. They would just come to you in flocks. It was bananas, the magnet appeal that car had in New York City. I don't know. I can't speak for anywhere else, but out here, that shit was fire. I'm only going with the Act Legend with that one. Drug dealer car or not, you had that shit. You was in. You was in.
Well, I already kind of see where this is going, but my vote is the Bronco. Not just because OJ made it famous, but I would be an SUV guy. Like I always like the bigger cars, the bigger rides, and stuff like that. And even now, like the Acura was cool. The Acura was cool. The interior was a little tight for somebody of my size. Uh, I guess I would put in my younger driving years, even though I started with a smaller car, but I like the Bronco better. I do personally like the Bronco better because I like the size. I like size. Pause. So I'm going Bronco.
Hey, I'm going with the Acura Legend because, like they said, Acura Legend. If you had a Legend at that time, you know what I mean. It was cool as shit. That was the cool car. That was the drug dealer car, as Dan would say. But here's the other thing though. The Ford Bronco is not on my list because of no fucking OJ Simpson driving it around when he was in it. Bronco was that work. I'm just saying, back in the day when if you didn't have a car and you wanted like some kind of SUV, remember SUVs wasn't popping back then. So if you wanted something that wasn't a truck, you had a Bronco. That's what it was.
A
So this ain't got
Bronco
nothing to
or a
do with
Blazer?
OJ. I'm
Yeah,
glad. I
the
mean,
Chevy
OJ
Blazers
did.
were retarded
OJ
back
Bronco or
then.
did
Blazer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Blazers or the Broncos. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like the Broncos
And the
better than the
Jimmy.
Blazers.
Pause.
So
No, the Broncos
let
was
No,
me
the
see.
official, man.
Suzuki. Yeah, the
Uh,
Broncos was because the Suzuki Sidekick, which that might have been on the list too. The Suzuki
and the,
Sidekick. Everybody had that little ass Jeep. You know what I'm
yeah, but
saying? Like
Another
Yeah.
everybody
drug
had
dealer
that
car.
little.
but they was kind of girly though. The Bronco was like a man shit. You know what I mean? The
Yes, sir.
sidekick was a
Yeah,
little girly,
yeah,
Yes,
and then
sir.
What
nobody
about the
wanted them
Trooper though?
Jeeps.
yeah.
The Trooper two though was kind of was big. Was a
The Trooper.
pause.
Oh,
But the
the
The,
Joey Suzu,
Suzu. Yeah,
the
Yeah.
yeah, the
Joey
and the
Mini
Suzu.
Cooper.
Pathfinder.
Yeah. Joey
The
Suzu. Yeah.
Pathfinder
Yeah.
too.
Don't forget
The
about the
Nissan
Samurai, man.
Pathfinder.
The Samurai Suzuki.
The oh, that's a good one. But the Nissan Pathfinder was big back then too.
Where
Pause.
Pathfinder was like, I was carrying that picture around in my notebook in high school, especially when the '96 model came out. When they rounded it out, like
Mm-hmm.
them boxy ones was cool, but once they started rounding the bodies out. Like that '96 Pathfinder was my joint. Never got one, and in some respects, I was like, I'm glad I never got one, even though you saw my shit and what I hit. I could have got a Pathfinder or an Explorer at the time, but I like the way that the body on this Chevy Traverse was. But it is what it is. Tyrone, what's this next one here? After you come off of mute, we got the
I can't
97.
see it.
We got the '97 E-Class Benz versus the
Ooh.
'88 Grand National.
Oh, well
Mm-hmm.
then it
Mm.
starts from the top down now. So you kicking that off.
I'm going with the I'm going with the car that's in more my era. The drug dealer, another drug dealer car. Got a lot of drug dealer cars on this shit. But that '97 E class, like there was just it again the air quotes, the buggy eye Benz. It was just something about that look where it was like at first I wasn't digging it. But then over time it was like, yo, nah, you start to see more on the road. Like, nah, this shit is all right. And then a Benz, it just rides. Benzes ride better than most any car out there. Period. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna put it over the Grand National, muscle, but there were other muscle cars that I liked over a Buick, so I gotta go Benz. TJ,
Speaking of errors, Dan, this is why I'm going with the Buick Grand National. That car was a beast in the streets. All right. You pull up in that shit, it was game time. It was game time when you pulled up in that shit. And people knew you was about that life. Like nobody There was no whack ass motherfucker driving a Buick Grand National. Everybody who hopped out that shit was cool and smooth as fuck. All right, the buggy eye Benz, I get what you saying, was more your era, and it was in all the videos, and everybody had one in the street. The shit was everywhere. But like for pure badass, when I roll up and step out, that Buick Grand National is a champ, son. I have to go with the Grand National on this one.
But if that shit was tuned right, you had the nice big fat carburetors on it and all that shit, and if that shit was too, I mean, stock, it was nothing to play with either, but it was something about tuning muscle cars like that like, yeah, it was game time, TJ. It was game time. Oh
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going. Having said all that, I'm going with the Benz, man. And any type of
Figures.
Benz, man. I can't bet against that. Except for
Figures. Figures.
always thinking classic. He can still see these shits in the streets of Brooklyn now because West Indians and now Africans love buying them.
Both sides, man.
Yeah, I don't really like Benz, though, man. I know the Mercedes do, but I'm gonna go with the E-Class here because I think, Ty, you got the wrong Buick on there, but you need to have the Beast in the Quarter in there instead of the Grand National. So I'm gonna go with the E-Class. That's my choice.
God damn it! I was banking on you, Jamal. God
Sorry,
damn
man.
you, man.
If he had
God
the
damn
electric 225, I'd have been up there with him.
Well, Tyrone, you're not a tiebreaker, but what you got?
So the Benz is up there because, like I said, Mercedes Benz is always Mercedes Benz. You see a Benz, that was the shit, whatever. But when them bug eyes was in the videos and all that, everybody was like hopped on it, and that was the car, like that was the luxury car of the hood at the time when them rappers and everything started hopping on it. So I was like, you saw bug eye Benz and you was just like, you know what I mean? That was the shit. But for me, I'm picking the Natty because the Natty more represented like what we was doing. Like, yeah, the bug out Benz was cool for them videos, dudes. Them bug out Benz represent the rappers and the money and the drugs and all that. But for the hood, for us, we rather pull up in that Natty because that's what we was trying to put that work in. You know what I mean? So I'm picking the Grand National.
Game time. Yeah.
The Benz moves on. We go back to the top. This is a coupe battle, the two-door battle. Porsche 911 versus the DeLorean. Jamal.
Shit. The DeLorean, they both iconic too. The DeLorean, I mean, Back to the Future really took on them besides John DeLorean was just took out it. But I'm gonna go with the classic 911, man. I think that shit is timeless.
For Big O.
And let's face it, man. If it wasn't for Back to the Future, man, half of us wouldn't know what DeLorean was, man. And Porsche 911 was a classic car. Still is a classic. I'm going with the 911.
Oh, so it's on me. My bad. So I was waiting for one of these categories to be a straight wash, and this is it right here. This is the matchup that's going to be a straight wash because the line 11 is a monster. A monster. You get in that thing and it just goes. The DeLorean is nice, but you ain't fucking with that 911.
Yeah, but for me, I've always wanted a DeLorean more than the 911. Some about them gold wing doors, honestly, like that was really like the true attraction point. And then too, the stainless steel body. Like that was something that cars didn't have even when it came out. That stainless steel body, the car never rusts. Them shits are expensive as fuck now. I mean, the 911s, if you get some OG shit, they're still expensive on some OG stuff. But even the brand new ones are still hella expensive. But the DeLorean, Yeah, you could say Back to the Future, but there was something about that body style and stuff that I still loved. Tough matchup against the 911, but I'm still giving my vote to the DeLorean.
Um,
Tyrone,
So I like that these two cars matched up because these two cars is on my list because they was the most unattainable vehicles that I could think of from my time frame. So besides Back to the Future, I didn't even think the DeLorean was a real car. That's how fucked up it was for me. I didn't even think it was a real car. No, I've never seen one. I've never seen it on the street. No, I never known anybody to have one. The only people that I thought had those cars was people who was really rich that had them in their garage, or people who bought like props from the movie to have them in the museums. So when I found it in my head that the DeLorean was actually a real car, I was like, "How do you get one of those?" And then I found out, you ain't, not my black ass. So this is why DeLorean made the list because it was like so unattainable to me that I had to put it on here. But the Porsche 911, you know, when y'all talk about when everybody be talking about the Bugattis and the Lamborghinis and all of these and the Aston Martins and all of these cars that like are those cars that solidify you as like being a big money dude, like you being up, you know, you up with the Jay-Z's and the Beyonce's and all that. All of those cars now, this was our car back then. I don't know if it was y'all's, but if you saw a Porsche anywhere, you was just like, oh, that's big on that money. You know what I mean? So that's just the car that like, that's what Jay-Z would have been driving if Jay-Z would have been like, you know, Jay-Z who he is now back then. You know what I mean? That's the car in my head where the stars drive. And so that's why I'm going with the Porsche 911.
Yo, it's funny you say that because when you said cars that were unattainable, and you know what, it would have been perfect if I would have had it on my list if I did cars. But the Lamborghini Countach and the Ferrari from Magnum PI, those two joints
that's
were
classic
just
80s right there.
fire. That's fire. But that Lamborghini Countach, I still buy that car today because that's how dope that car was to me.
Where I've seen DeLoreans on the street. I've seen DeLoreans parked in places. I've seen them drive, and it was that like, oh shit, you got that? It was literally like, oh, you got one of those? But that's how hard and rare they are, is because production, they're what the sales mark that they wanted to hit, they failed. They failed immensely to where they wanted to hit, and the company, the DeLorean company, shut down. I think after like 2-3 years at that time, and allegedly they were supposed to be making like a newer generation one. I remember there was mock-ups and specs for it and all of that, but I guess it never came to fruition. But something that has, you know, we already kind of voted on this car versus, to me, another timeless car. We got the BMW X5 versus the 93 Honda Accord. And since it's top to bottom, I'm going five. I said X5, but I meant 5 Series. I'm going 5 Series because though they're more common, like it's one of the more common BMWs you can see still to this day out in the street. You want to talk about a quiet monster? It's that car. And then especially if you go M series, for a German car, yeah, try to street race against like an M series, M5. Try your best, but I'm going M5, TJ. I mean,
Bro, they
oh,
can try their best. They can try their best, and if they are, it's because their car is modded and M5 is not. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to take something extra to beat that car. That car handles on a dime. My best friend brother has one. That shit's a monster. Even the old school ones back in the day, it's like what Lisper was saying. You see somebody pull up an M5, you know they got that bread. You know what I'm saying? You see the dual exhaust, you see the M badge on the back of that car. Like I said on the other one, it's game time. You could take off on anybody anytime you want. The car handles like a beast. It's just one of the better built cars that you can drive fast and get busy in on the road, and their quality of excellence is phenomenal on that car. So I'm going five
Well,
series.
I keep saying that we keep saying M5, but it is a 5 series. So I mean, that's just looking at the top of the top because he didn't specify Big O.
Mm. They have this saying that BMW drivers are like it's like Florida man. When it comes to the dumb shit they do as drivers. But I mean, shit, man. When you have a car like that 5 series, or like any of those, man, the M5, fives, all of them, man. It's kind of hard not to do dumb shit with that car. You know what I'm saying? If you want to open it up, So yeah, man, I got to go with that 5 series.
Also, their slogan is unbeatable. It's the ultimate driving machine. You're not beating that slogan
True
on
indeed.
nothing. You're not
The
beating that
motherfuckers, the
slogan
motherfuckers
on
take it to
nothing.
heart and smack people up too. So
Jamal.
Oh man, yeah, I'm going with the 5 series, man. This is a tough one for me. The Accord was like my first favorite car that I thought was attainable, but that 5 series is something special.
Um, I'm just going to say the Accord is on this list because of exactly what Dan was saying earlier that he attained to, how the Accord is the accurate legend, but one of them was luxury and one of them was low brow. That's why it's on this list, because the Accord was the attainable car. It was like, man, I might not can't get that legend, but I can get the Accord. I can spruce it up, and I can still look like I'm close to that dude. You know what I mean? I might not be him, but I'm getting close. I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put the quarter there because it was one of those cars that wasn't the luxury car, but it was attainable, and it was a car that made you look good if you had it looking right. Now, if you had a dirty John, nobody paid you attention. But if you hooked that Accord up and you had it clean and it was looking good, it almost looked like a legend. It almost felt like a legend. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
that was like that
Yeah.
Chrysler 300.
But I
Them
didn't
super
specify.
unreliable.
I didn't specify which BMW. I put the whole 5
Yeah.
series on it because that car has transcended all the time. From the time it came out until the M5 and all of that, the 5 series just has transcended. It has never really went down. It's just better. You know what I mean? And so I couldn't
Yep.
just pick one.
You're
So I
absolutely
just
right.
said, fuck it. I'm putting the whole 5 series in there, and that's what I'm going with.
Nice. Yeah.
This was a bad matchup for Honda Accord. That's all it
For
was.
real.
It was a bad matchup for Honda Accord.
The Honda Accords, like those were some old reliables, especially in them early '90s. Like you
Yeah.
seen
Oh,
you,
bro,
I mean,
people drove the shit out them cars,
yo,
bro.
you can still see some of them rust buckets running today,
Yeah.
and still running better than some other cars.
Yep.
One thing
You're right.
about those Honda Accords, you could always find parts for those cars to
Yeah,
fix them
true.
up. You can
Yeah, because there's so
always
many of
find
them.
parts for the.
Yeah, they,
There's never a shortage of parts for those cars.
them
Now,
Honda
Jamal,
engines run
because
forever, man.
you're unmuted, you got this lopsided matchup: the Chevy Camaro versus the Dodge Caravan.
Oh Lord have mercy. Well, I don't like to see a bloodbath in any way, so I'm gonna go with that Caravan for all the folks that have families and whatever. I'm gonna choose the Caravan and keep it moving.
Oh,
Yo, the caravan is what I learned to drive with, man. So yeah, that's sentimental to me. And Camaro, I never drove in it. I never wanted one. So I'm going with the caravan.
You never wanted a Corvette? Wow.
Yeah, nah. Eh.
Me neither. Run my style, man.
TJ?
yo, so these two cars are both kings, kind of in their categories, like muscle car versus the first ever. Like Dodge dropped the first ever, and everybody followed suit after that. And and they set the table. They set a high watermark, and they just kept getting better and better and better and better with it. I drove both these cars, I've sold both these cars, and I've only owned one, which y'all know is a Caravan. I didn't never owned a Corvette, but these new Corvettes out here right now, I've caught one. They call it the poor man's supercar, and it can run with some of the best cars on the planet right now. And that's not even the top model. Them new Vets is fire. I know you guys are saying you ain't vet guys, but them new Vets is fire. I'd cop one tomorrow if I had the bread. But I don't know if they want to call it an upset. I'm going with the Caravan because the Caravan set the table
This
and
is
was
a
a
fucking
pioneer
upset.
for all of it was a pioneer in its class because there was no minivans before this.
There actually were Volkswagen had them, but did they call them the minivan? They called it the bus.
The Z
Um,
Bell
Right.
van.
the dollar vans that used to drive through Brooklyn, the Toyota, I forgot what it was called, but they had that minivan too. But nah, I gotta go with the Corvette only because not only because I mean it's just a far better car than the fucking Caravan, but
Hey, come on,
that,
man.
that Z1 engine, I was I was I was always attracted to that Z1 engine,
Woo! That
especially
Z1
the
is no
Z1
joke.
model, especially the Z1 model. Like that was the poor man's supercar engine, and that shit off the line
Yeah.
could take fucking supercars, certain ones.
Yep.
It also depends on who's driving.
You know, you
That
guys
part.
keep calling it poor man supercar. Isn't that America's version of a supercar though?
Right, but
Yes.
the price point compared to
Right.
Two real
It's
supercars.
yeah. It's significantly lower
Yeah.
by hundreds of thousands of dollars.
and it is a supercar. Like, don't get it twisted.
Right.
It is a supercar, depending on the model you buy. It is a supercar, but compared to like a McLaren
You get that
F1,
ZR1. You yeah. You get that Z1 and it's running with Porsches, it's running with Lamborghinis, it's running with Ferraris, it's running with all them dudes. Don't sleep on it. Like
at
they've
all.
always made that car to run. They've always made that car to run. Handling wise, that's where it gets a little tricky at because they never really made a car that could handle. But off the line in the straight line, you know you might get shown up. You might get shown up.
I, I can understand why somebody would say Corvette's not their style, because Corvette is not my style neither. But to say that you never wanted one, that is a fucking ridiculous statement. Like, you not wanted one. You not one. You want a fucking Corvette, dog. You want one.
But now come on now.
Nah, man.
Corvette,
Never wanted one.
Lamborghini.
Never wanted one. Yeah,
Okay.
never wanted one.
Okay, you can lie to yourself. You ain't gonna sit up here and lie to me today.
Never wanted one, man.
What if somebody gave you one? You'd be like, no, I'm cool.
So that's a different question.
Totally.
That's a different question.
But no, the Dodge Caravan is on here because the family car was always the station wagon, and nobody really liked station wagons. They had the wood panel station wagon. Nobody liked them, but when you had a bunch of
I
kids,
like station wagons.
I mean, well,
I like
okay.
the 5 Series station wagon. That's what I like.
I'm just saying.
We had the Ford Taurus station wagon. I like that joint. Matter of fact, you talking station wagons. My track coach still is driving like a 1980 something fucking Chevy station wagon still to this day. Still filled with shit in his trunk from when I was in high school. And the bitch still runs. It probably got like 500,000 miles on it.
Now, listen, the wagons have improved, okay? The wagons have improved. The Taurus wagon is okay. But I'm talking about when I was a kid coming up and you had them families, they had that big wide body, big ass okey doke station wagon. Them things wasn't cool, right? And then you came out, the Dodge Caravan made it kind of cool to have like a little van, little John. And then we started having a family and you got enough kids. It was like you could fit all your kids in there and you could still kind of be half decent. You could still
ain't no station wagon.
And it was more affordable and everything. So I'm gonna go with the Dodge Caravan on this, even though I definitely want one of them damn Corvettes for sure.
You went with the station wagon. This is a car people are gonna be like, "Yo, start at 5. Never talk about cars again." But here we go. We got the Chrysler 300 versus Bay Ridge Finest, the
I was
Chevy
about to
IROC
say,
Z.
that's what I'm saying. Bensonhurst, #1 mobile.
And I already called. I said I already told y'all. I got full bias. I'm going with the car I actually owned. That Chrysler 300. That was a poor man's luxury looking car at one time too.
Yeah,
And
poor
that
man's
shit
Rolls
was
Royce.
fucking not even Bentley.
Yeah, Bentley. Sorry, Bentley.
that,
Yeah.
that shit rode so smooth. That shit, and I had the base 300. I was able to make it get up if I needed it to. But that shit, it was one of the most comfortable, smoothest rides possible. I'm sorry to all my Italian friends and family out there. How you doing? But I can't rock with your I can't rock with your staple on this one. TJ, did we lose you? We'll come back to TJ. Oh, go.
All right. So Camaro. That's another Chevy car. Let's be honest. Only Chevy car I ever wanted was an Impala. Okay. So I didn't want the Camaro either, man. I just felt as though it wasn't, and maybe I'll call me a follower at an early age. There wasn't enough of us driving it, man. Um, Chrysler 300 on the other hand, yeah, we were all driving it, especially down south. And yeah, that's I wanted that car when it came out, and so I'm going with the Chrysler 300.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with the Chrysler too. Them joints reminded me of the armored cars from Spy Hunter. When them joints came out. So I'm like,
The black
yo,
ones, the black joint.
yep,
I remember.
yep, yep. So, no, them things are smooth. Them things are smooth. I'm gonna go with that.
Tyrone, you go
I
because
only I only put the Chrysler 300 on this list because of the whole baby Bentley situation. I don't like them cars. I just gotta acknowledge that when everybody was calling them the baby Bentleys, everybody wanted it. Everybody was driving it. Everybody felt like they were somebody in them Johns, and I seen a whole lot of them. And yeah, they made you feel like you was living in the luxury life or whatever. But I had to acknowledge the fact that there was a time where the Chrysler 300 was killing it as the baby Bentleys. But ain't no way in hell I'm picking the Chrysler 300 over that Camaro. So you can forget it.
So let me get this straight. Right? Because now I got something to say.
Uh oh.
So
Here we go.
you picked the
when
Chrysler
don't you have
300.
something to say?
You picked the Chrysler 300 over the Maxima just so you could prove a point about the Chrysler 300.
No, I picked the Chrysler 300 because, like I said, it don't matter if I like the car or not. The car was very influential during the time frame that I picked these cars from. It was a big car during that time frame. Do I have to like the car? Hell no, I don't like the car. Do I think the Maxima is way better? Hell yeah, I do. But at the baby Bentley era went crazy. That's like Hulkamania. The baby Bentley era was like Hulkamania. It just went wild for a long time. And so I'm just putting this car in there to acknowledge the fact that Chrysler 300 had an era where it went wild as the baby Bentley.
What you gonna do when that Chrysler 300 drives slow over you?
I'm just
Well,
saying
TJ,
everybody and their mama was.
I guess
well,
it's
we'll
probably
get TJ.
regional too because the Maxima had its moment, bro, for a, for a good few
In
years,
New
man.
York City,
Yeah.
the
Yes,
Maxima
sir.
was king.
Yes. The Maxima, the Stanza, before they stopped making it.
The Cressida.
And
Yes,
that's the
sir.
thing.
The
Like a
Cressida.
lot of these cars Tyrone picked, it connects with our city so crazy.
Yeah.
From the Acura to the Honda to we didn't pick the Maxima, but that 300 was when once I got a 300, I could not see a 300 on the
Yeah,
road.
yeah, you saw it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
actually, my sidebar while we wait for TJ to come back. Have y'all ever noticed that shit that like when you get a car, all of a sudden you can't not see it all over the road? That
Shit,
shit
my
happened.
Murano.
Right. You know what happened to me, right? I hate it I had to rent a car one time, and I went to go to the car rental place, and all they had left was a PT Cruiser, right? And so I'm like, I didn't even know what the fuck a PT Cruiser was. They was like, "We got this PT Cruiser, you want it?" And I was like, "What the fuck is a PT Cruiser?" Right? I had no idea. I get to rent a car, I get the PT Cruiser. I had it for about 2 weeks, and then I'm seeing PT Cruisers everywhere, and I didn't even know that the fucking PT Cruiser was a thing until I rented that one. I'm
Wow.
driving around like,
Yo,
"Oh, there it is,
Tyrone,
there it is."
East LA and Southern California, the PT Cruiser was king for a hot minute. Dog,
Now
yo,
y'all
I ain't
aren't.
never,
Just to check with
I
y'all.
never in my head, I
Just
never
to
in my head saw a PT Cruiser until I was driving one. So it
now,
was like a
just to
thing
check
where
with y'all though, you're not getting confused Prowler with the PT Cruiser, right?
no, sir. No,
Yeah,
sir.
the PT Cruiser. I don't know who's making all that noise, but the PT Cruiser was just like the small SUV, and that shit was small. Shout out to my sister Courtney, freaking Ian's sister. She used to have a PT Cruiser, and I got in that bitch, and I was like how I'm in the camera right now, like I was tight in that front seat like that.
Mm. I never got one. I can't help. I
I'm
can't relate.
glad I never got one either.
I drove one. It's horrible.
TJ, since you're back now, what was your vote on the 300 versus the Camaro?
Ooh, I have a personal hate for the Chevy Camaro. Goes back to our young years in the early 90s. A lot of Albanians drove this car. I'll never forget they chased me and my man out of Nathan's arcade part, and it was two IROCs and like 30 other Albanians chasing us out of there. So fuck the Camaros. Um, um, I've driven the Chrysler 300. I've sold Chrysler 300s. It was one of the first cars I ever sold when I got into the car business. Um, as much as you want to say it was a poor man's Bentley, it's not even close to a Bentley. All right, it was a dope ride, but I couldn't understand why people paid over $30,000 for this car and it had a plastic dashboard. That's just Chrysler being Chrysler. So I'm gonna give Chrysler the props because, like I said, fuck Chevy Camaros.
All right, so
But
four
having said
one.
that, it wasn't worth $30,000 for that car.
Not for the interior, sir. Hell no. You paid a lot of money for that car. You had a whole entire plastic dashboard.
I I had the base model and I got mine used. I had an '08. I got it for 9,000 and change. One of the first cars I fully paid off. But that says a lot about me. Yeah. So two of my children were voting against. We're voting up now. My first car, but the '98 model I had, versus the Hummer H2, a car that I still want to this day. Who went first last time? Jamal, it was you? Yeah, no, I went first because it went top bottom. So it's you, Jamal.
All right, I'm gonna go with the H2. Always wanted a Hummer. Never got one. Never liked the Eclipse.
Oh,
And Mitsubishi was my first car. I didn't get the Eclipse though. When I got to the military, they had changed the body, and that was the body I wanted. Um, Hummers. I was in the military during that time when they got the whole idea from that model. So having said that, man, I would, as me being a truck guy, I'm taking that Eclipse because yeah, the Hummer was not fun to drive at all.
TJ.
Um, I always wanted to try to drive a Mitsubishi Eclipse, especially the stick shift. Never got the opportunity to. I heard great things about that car, but I drove a Hummer. I mean, that thing is a behemoth on the road. The seats are ridiculous. The middle console, you can't even give your man a high five from across the console. That's how wide that shit is. The Hummer's a fun drive. They made that a fun car. I'm sure old drove the military version, which that shit just got no suspension and nothing. And they just driving a fucking tank on wheels. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Hummer. I just got more. I had more access to that vehicle. I mean, I would, like I said, I wish I had the opportunity to drive an Eclipse.
This ain't fair for me because this is two joints that I love. The H2 was the model that was made to become a air quotes civilian street vehicle version of the Hummer, an updated, modified version of the original one that I liked. I'm more of and still to this day, though I want an H2, the H1 has always been one of my life goals in obtaining. So only because, and then not well again, I can't say it enough. I owned the Mitsubishi Eclipse. My first car was the '98 Eclipse Spider. That's why my name on the screen says Spider One because that's the name that my boys called me because of my car. They called my car Spider One, so I'm more attached to it. But Hummer wise, I would have picked H1, not the H2.
Dan, that H1 is wide as fuck, bro. That
And
shit takes up damn near a lane and a half on a highway.
and I want it. And I want it. So Tyrone, you finally got a tiebreaker.
Um, So my sentiments is with old kind of sentiments. I was in the military at the time when the Hummer thing went crazy, and I didn't understand it. That's why the Hummer's on this list because I did not, for the life of me, understood why the Hummer went crazy. Because I was in the military, I was riding in Hummers and driving them, and I was like, these things are terrible. I do not like Hummers at all. But then, once I got into the H2, and I was like, oh, they just stole the concept. They didn't actually steal the real Hummer thing because the H2s was way better than what I was riding in the military. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth for them already before I ever got in one. But yeah, that Mitsubishi Eclipse, I'm gonna go with the Eclipse because I really don't care for the Hummers. And even though it wasn't the same Hummer as the military Hummer, it still wasn't good enough for me.
My baby moves on and it faces off against now that round is two cars I did have. What the fuck? But just so y'all also too, I'm sure y'all should know by now, the car people used to think that was the Fast and Furious car. The car that was in Fast and Furious was actually an Eagle Talon, which was the same
Ooh,
body style, and it was the same. It was like they were made by the damn thing, the same company. Eagle was
yep.
like lesser version of Mitsubishi at the time. But what you saw in Fast and Furious was not a Mitsubishi Eclipse. Had me fucked up because I always wanted the Mitsubishi Eclipse because of that, but it was actually Eagle Talon. And those cars were beasts too. But we got two
Yep.
beasts now, and I already know where I'm going because I'm first. I'm going with that SS Impala. Not because of the 91, though it was close to the same body style, but it
Yo,
ran,
what the hell?
91 to 96 ran the same shit. That wedge fucking 5.0 Mustang is cool, but I liked Mustangs more once they started to round that body out. So around 95, 96, actually more 96 to 98 is when I really liked the Mustang. The 5.0s were definitely street legal beasts if but if tuned up properly. Because even at the 5.0 level, they were dope, but you had to tune them shits off to really get them shits going. But I like the Impala better. Something about that big body style and that SS engine was just another street legal monster. Yeah, I have to go Impala SS. Easy for me. Easy.
So the people who graduated from the Camaro IROX bought Mustang GT 5.0s. So fuck them twice. Um, um, Also, the Mustang GT was a beast, but it had no rear end, and I seen mad fishtail accidents in that car because dudes didn't know how to drive it. It's
No, it
ridiculous.
it
But
had all rear end, TJ. It had all
yep,
rear end
yeah,
and
but
no
there was no
front.
traction. no traction to keep the car on straight
It was fucking rear wheel
rear
drive.
wheel drive.
Rear-wheel
Yeah,
drive,
so there was a lot of idiots and assholes who fucked up them cars as soon as they got them. They just didn't know how to handle that power. But my shit is like you, Dan. I'm going to Chevy Impala SS all day, every day. The Super Sport can really haul ass, and you can dress that bitch up as well with the big wheels, the Daytons. You have that shit leaning, but it was also a fucking fast ass car. That's why the cops drove them shits. The state troopers drove them shits back in the day. They was right there. So my vote is for the SS.
And I believe they
Oh.
used to fit Z1 engines in them for the cops.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm going with the Impala too, man. That's my choice.
Jamal, you still with us? You probably getting naked for the pool off camera. We'll come back. It's already lopsided, but Tyrone.
Okay, so the Impala makes this list for all the reasons y'all said. I love that car, but I can't pick that car. I have to pick the Mustang 5.0, and this is the reason why. Because I love the Impala so much, but I don't know if this was a problem for you New Yorkers, but a black man driving that Impala in Philadelphia was a problem. You know what I mean? That was like the hustle car. So anytime we drove anywhere, like if I lived in Philadelphia and we got surrounded suburbs, Springfield, Upper Darby, all those areas, if I had that, I never bought the Impala because I could never drive it outside of West Philadelphia. If I took that car and went into Upper Darby, which was literally right down the street from West Philadelphia, I would be pulled over immediately, strip search, all kinds of shit. Because the police seeing a black man in that car in Philadelphia was always a problem. I was always a drug dealer or some kind of criminal or some kind of just a bad dude. So I could never buy one because I could never drive one in Philadelphia without being harassed by the police.
I thought you were gonna say it was a cop car. It looked like a cop car and shit.
Another trauma pick. Another trauma pick. Jamal.
All right, so that whole IROC Camaro Mustang is all the same lineage, and I never liked none of them. The Impala, the Impala can fly, man. That car can fly on the highway. I'm going with the Impala.
Nice.
Yeah, see, Jamal understands.
So this is, I mean, we got some heavy hitters here. Let's get this one out the way. Grand Cat, I mean, it's on Jamal, but I know where I'm going already. The Grand Caravan versus the freaking Impala.
All right, it's the Impala. Caravan had a good win. It was a sweet 16 darling, but yeah, it's got to go.
Oh.
And I gotta go with my pop's car, man. I'm sorry, my pop's minivan, man.
See, if I was going with my pop's car, I would have picked the Camaro the last round because my father was a Camaro guy, but the '80s, early '80s one too. Not IROC though, but TJ.
Yeah, this is where the Caravan dies. I mean, you can't compare the two. I know the Caravan is iconic for its class, but that Chevy. Now, here's where you say, do you want to get seen in a Dodge Caravan or a Chevy Impala? Motherfucker, you going to pull up in an Impala, right?
Tyrone, I don't even need to long talk, Tyrone. I just click my vote for the Impala.
I'm gonna just say this: I never been pulled over in that Dodge Caravan, so I'm going with the Caravan.
Nigga, nobody's ever got pulled over in Dodge.
Yo, you know why? You know why? Because the cops was probably like, "Man, that nigga got kids in the car, man."
That's it. Sticking with the middle brackets, let's get my babies out the way. I'm going my first car over the 300. I got to, whether it's again 96, whatever. I have, once I truly get like expendable free money, I'm on a quest to get my first car again, the Cliff Spider, or as my
automatic or stick shift, Dan. Automatic or stick shift.
When I went to first buy one, the first one I was looking at was a silver with black top and black leather interior, and it was stick shift. But when I went,
Mm.
but when I went, it was sold. But I was so set on buying an
Obviously.
Eclipse. They had a white one that was automatic with tan interior and a tan top, and I went with it because I wanted it that bad. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the first car that I had when I met my wife, as her mother
Mm.
called it. I think it's Baja Panti. I think I might have
Yeah,
said it right.
panty dropper.
There you go.
The
You already
panty, the Baja Panty.
see, that's it. She was like, "Oh,
That's
you."
the
He
panty
pulled up in
dropper.
a panty dropper, and it wasn't even a panty
Yeah.
dropper because Paul is the only panties I dropped was hers. But I digress on that.
It worked. It
But
worked.
I gotta go with my first. Oh,
Ah, shit. Hold up. I gotta bring shit close to my damn.
it's the
The
Mitsubishi.
Yeah,
glasses
let's go
ain't
with the Eclipse,
the
man.
prescription on the glasses ain't strong enough, huh? You got to make this
Yeah,
shit
man.
bigger
It's
on the phone, bro.
Wait. I skipped you, TJ, or you picked the.
Yeah, no, you skipped
My
right
bad.
over me.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So, the Eclipse is not as sentimental to me as it is to you, Dan, but this is where again Chrysler goes down. The Chrysler 300 has as appeal, but not as much of appeal as that Mitsubishi Eclipse. Shit was hard body. If you had it was a rag top, right? You could get that in convertible.
Yep.
Yeah, that hands down convertible beats hard tops all day. You know what I'm saying? Once you put that top down, you in that shit, it's just a fly ass look. So I'm going with the Eclipse. On
Oh,
you, Big O.
no, the Eclipse. Definitely the Eclipse.
Tyrone.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Eclipse too. I told you, that Chrysler 300 just was doing it because it had an impact, but it had an impact as a baby Bentley. It didn't have an impact as a Chrysler 300 for real, not for me anyway.
Just said yeah.
So now the battle, because he said baby Bentley, we going battle of luxury. But let me get Jamal
Ooh.
back. I think he's in the bed now. That
Yeah.
Eclipse versus Christ.
I don't know. It's cold out there now, man.
Eclipse versus 300.
Oh, the 300, man. The Eclipse survived the last round?
Eclipse
Yeah.
won.
Oh, Christ, Jesus. All right. Oh, man. Oh,
Eclipse won. 4-1.
Oh shit.
bro, yeah. Let's go. Let's go to 300. We got to get that thing out of there, man.
That's what I'm voting for the next round, no matter against one of these. That E class, 97 E class versus the 5 series. Jamal.
All right. Oh, all right. The 5 Series.
You said you wasn't a Benz guy, Big O. What are you?
Damn, luxury versus luxury, man. Man, I told you, man, the BMW drivers scare me on the road, man. But that BMW is a hell of a vehicle, man. So I get it. So I'm going with the BMW.
TJ.
The ultimate driving machine, dogs. That shit, when you got a BMW, it didn't have no crazy digital screen. It didn't have no fancy dash or nothing like that. You got in that shit, you was like, oh, I'm in this car to drive it, not to listen to the fucking radio and fucking around with the knobs and shit. You know what I'm saying? You got in that car to
man.
drive it.
Listen,
That
I
shit
want
is
to
no
change. I
joke.
want to change my pick because I need that shit. I need all that.
No, and that's the difference. That's the exact difference in terms of luxury and in terms of sport. If you were a driver and you like to drive, you were getting a BMW. If you wanted luxury and everything that came with it, you were buying a Benz. So it was just a matter of preference on what your taste was in vehicles. And those were two distinct drivers that you never confused. You never confused a Beamer driver with a Benz driver and a Benz driver with a Beamer driver. Them motherfuckers are complete opposites.
Word. I saw, I don't know if it was a 3 or a low 5 series last night. boogieing on the fucking Staten Island Expressway, and I
It
was
was
like,
probably a
fuck,
5 Series. It was
it
probably a
might have
5 Series.
been.
like light work for that
But
car.
Yeah.
I already picked the 5 Series because I love Benzes. I do love Benzes. I would have preferred the S class over the E class any day. But go ahead, Tyrone.
So TJ put it right on the spot for me. If you pull up in the BMW, you a driver. You pull up in that Benz, you is the man. So for me, I want to be that driver because in the BMW you could be the driver and still be the man. Because in the BMW you still that dude, but you also that dude like you know what I mean. I could whip this thing too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going with the 5 Series.
Nice. And last but not least, I'm sorry, Ludacris. This is where I'll go Porsche 911. Like TJ said, if you want to stand next to one of these and think you are who you are, yeah, give me the Porsche. And as a speed demon like myself, though, I like certain cars for certain reasons. Give me the Porsche over the Acura Legend any day, TJ.
So, like I said, when you pulled up in that Act Legend, it was a chick magnet like no other, right? That's until the motherfucker showed up in the Porsche 911, dogs. When that motherfucker showed up in the Porsche, the Act Legend got no shine. That motherfucker wasn't even parked there. Excuse me,
Right.
sir, you're in my way. You're
Get
in
all
my
the
way.
tickets.
Get this shit out of here. Get this little fucking, I don't even know who makes this car. The fuck out of here. What is that? What is that, my guy? It could have been a 1990 Porsche. This motherfucker could have pulled up in the 89. It wouldn't have mattered.
It's
All
a
right.
Porsche.
That Act Legend was getting smoked right then and there. You didn't even need to have a SIP. You have bullshit radio in there with the top down. Be like, oh my God, it's a Porsche. It's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. It's Porsche 911. All day, every day, twice on Sundays. This is a bad matchup for you, Acura. I'm sorry. Your nostalgia goes long and hard and deep in the hood. Pause or no Diddy, as the kids like to say. And
Oh, is that what they saying? God damn.
yeah, they say no Diddy now.
No Diddy.
Oh
So,
shit, that's wrong.
yeah.
Fucked up.
It's the Porsche 911 for me on that note.
Big O. He said you could pull up in the Porsche and that Porsche got fucking tin cans for speakers.
Yo, you know what? You know what? It's funny, right? I mean, this is growth, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. Like Act Legend, that along with the Maxima was like one of the first two cars that I ever wanted, man. You know, that was my ceiling as in high school, going into college and shit. I didn't, Porsche 911 always seemed unattainable. Like, okay, the Miami motherfuckers, the white folks in Miami, they drive them shits. But as you get older, you just see that this 911 is just in a different class. Shit, Legends, they don't even make them shits anymore. I mean, they still make the same type of car, but they don't want Legends no more. So I'm going with the Porsche 911 in this one.
Right, because the Acuras are TLs now and shit like
TL,
that.
yeah.
While the Porsche, it's crazy. The value just retains. That's why fucking I submitted the score by accident, but that's why I like fucking Seinfeld's fucking car collection. There's a lot of Porsches. So they fucking value, Jamal.
Yeah, that 911 body is timeless. It's classic.
Yes.
I don't know if they even made a body. Porsche's made another one like it that's that iconic as that 911 body. So it's just a superior vehicle, man. I'm just going with that.
Yo, I'm not about to sit here and let the hood representation leave this tournament. And now I feel like that
I
the
am.
hood representation is leaving.
I am.
I'm gonna pick the Acura Legend right now, and I know it ain't gonna win, but still, somebody got a rep for the hood, and that somebody gonna be me.
This
Well,
is where
say
the
goodbye.
hood. This is where the hood meets the real life.
All right, well, because Jamal will probably want to get this out of the way. 5 Series was the Eclipse. I'm just letting you know now. I know what my vote's the Eclipse. I'm skipping you. I'm sorry. Let me just get the sympathy vote in now. Rest in peace to Spider One. Rest in peace to my car. Spider.
It's a horrible matchup. Horrible final. You should all be ashamed of ourselves that the Eclipse made it to the final. Every single one of us here.
Fuck you,
All
Jamal. I've never said that before.
Yo, Mitsubishi was my first car, man. They know how to make cars, TVs, and air conditioners.
Dog, we got a Mitsubishi Eclipse against a Porsche 911. How does this happen?
No, it's the 5. It's the 5 Series.
Oh, my bad. The 5 Series. Okay. Either way, that's got to go, man. I've been voting. I've been voting against the Eclipse since jump, so I'm gonna keep that trend. Go ahead.
Go ahead, O.
Yeah, I'm going with the 5 Series in this one, man.
TJ.
This is a no-brainer, man. This is where sentiment
I know
meets reality, and the 5 Series. It is. I mean, I know how much it means to you, Dan. Sorry, not sorry. I'm going with the 5 Series.
All right. When I get it, y'all niggas is gonna need a ride one day, Tyrone.
No, I just thought about something. Didn't Biggie say he was in a Mitsubishi Eclipse? And I'm thinking to myself, ain't no way, bro.
Ain't no way.
I was
The Mitsubishi Eclipse was such a cool car that the biggest motherfucking fat joint in rap besides Big Pun said he was in one of them.
He was taller than me, I think, but I think weight-wise, I was bigger than Biggie, and I owned the Mitsubishi Eclipse.
You was tight.
Yeah. But it was comfortable.
Either way, I'm going with the 5 Series, though. But I just thought about that, like, damn, I remember Biggie said he was in that joint.
That's all right.
Had them seats all the way back, bro.
Rest in peace to Spider One.
The original 2-seater.
And now, because I'm first, I just love the Impala that much more. I truly do. The Porsche, yes, of course, it's an animal, it's a beast, and all that, yada yada. I love the fucking Impala body style more than most cars ever. It's always been this way for me. I still, like I said, a 96 version is the one that I want. The 91 is still close to the same. It was the first one, but yeah, it's still that body style. When my man G, he worked in another garage for me. When he pulled up, I just, how much you want for that car? Like that's how thirsty I was for it. How much you want for it? And he just bought it. I was like, how much? Give me an Impala all day.
Damn. Sorry, Dan. I know that's your personal favorite and you love the car, but that's the way I feel about the Porsche 911. If I ever get into some money, knock on wood, my career gets me to the point where I could just buy the base model Porsche 911. And it's just going to be as good. It ain't going to be a GT3 or nothing like that, but Jesus Christ, if I ever get able to own a Porsche 911, I will feel accomplished in my life. I don't like to say that about material things, but that right there, yeah. Nigga, we done made it. We done made it.
He made it, Mama, he made it.
Yo, it's funny, man. I mean, the Porsche 911, I think of Miami. I think of Grand Theft Auto Vice City, 80s Miami Vice. But that Impala, man, is like you said, the body style. It was fast as hell, had power, like spacious. I like the Impala, man. I think I'm going with the Impala.
Jamal,
I'm going to ride for the Porsche, bro. As dope as the Impala was, and the body style was a dope ass car, but the 911, man, was everything to me.
Well, sympathy vote, Tyrone. Not sympathy, but trauma pick again. Here we go.
He already got one hood car in the tournament. He already got one hood car in the tournament.
The Impala was that girl that was in the neighborhood that was fine as hell, but she had that mouth on her. So you knew if you dated, you probably was gonna get arrested for something domestic. And that's how the Impala was. I wanted it so bad, but I knew the Impala was gonna send my black ass to prison. I just knew it. And so I never bought one, even though I wanted it so bad. But you know what? I could probably get one now and be all right. So now I'm kind of like, and plus the hood got to be represented. So guess what? 4911 is going down, and I'm putting Impala in the finals, baby.
It's crazy, but it's valid. I mean, it's valid. And now Jamal, you got. I see where this is going. Oh, Jamal is back right now. This nigga he done changed positions like 8 times. He went from Under Armour sponsorship to Puma. Now he's on a different angle of the bed.
Oh man, the Wi-Fi is spotty. I'm switching back and forth between my phone and my laptop.
Gotcha. Now it's on you before you dip again and fucking we catch you on the toilet closing the show.
What's next, though?
The 5 Series versus the SS Impala.
All right, here I'm gonna go with the Impala. Since it survived that last round. Yep.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with the Impala. Yeah.
The hood is representing.
Wow.
Big O.
Yeah, this is the like TJ said, man, before. This is like the two between the driving machine and the flossing, you win the hood vehicle right here, man. So I'm going with the 5 Series, man.
This is the challenge of the driving machine versus the fucking driving machine, TJ. It
is because that Impala can handle for a big ass boat that it was. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that shit had sway bars in it. I mean, it moved. You could move in that thing. It was a super sport. That's what that SS stood for. Super sport. That shit had a big block engine in it. And when you fucking got on the gas, the car lifted up and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you out.
That shit
but
was
like in a Beamer,
you
in a Beamer, you get on the gas, you get pushed through the seat. You know what I'm saying? Like, the car was no joke, and it can handle. You could drive that car in the tightest of spots, dipping in and out of traffic. Man, I used to see so many people race the 5 Series on the West Side Highway, and they would I was like, my car can't keep up with that. I had a 87 Buick Century. I had no business doing that shit. None. You know what I'm saying?
Centuries behind.
Yeah. I was like, nah, we letting them go. But yeah, I mean, I gotta go 5 Series, man. As much as the Impala was to the hood and what the impact was, also a cultural thing like it was like the ultimate state trooper car. Them dudes was chasing everybody down. You never got away from an Impala. If you did, that was a story. You know what I'm saying? But that 5 Series, bro, you didn't have to worry about running from the cops. They wasn't catching you anyway. Because that car was
they'd have got your
nimble as fuck. Way down the road.
I went Impala because, like I said, still to this day, it's a car that I want. And to be honest, to keep it real with you, they're both obtainable. Both of these cars are obtainable. Especially, even if you go older 5 Series, like, you're gonna get decent quality, especially if you buy direct through BMW, things like that, a used car. They're gonna make sure that their specs are still
certified pre-owned.
But it's still, I like that boat. It's just still, there's something about that body style, the Impala, that is undefeated in some ways to me. That's why I went that way. So Tyrone, your tournament, and the irony of you get to close this bitch out.
Damn. I didn't want to be in this spot. I thought it was going to be settled before it got to me.
Nope.
Because now I want to represent the hood, but that 5 Series, this is not good. And I don't like them
representing the hood.
Huh?
Either way, you kind of representing the hood.
No, that 5 Series.
Yeah, 5 Series is heavy.
You know what?
Caribbean's in the hood.
Big facts. I was about to say, Big O, you definitely repping the Jamaicans.
I'm just gonna be honest. I do love the Chevy Impala SS. That's why it's on this list, and I wanted that car so bad, and I was mad that I couldn't buy it because I knew I was gonna get pulled over. And sometimes I ain't gonna. All right, come close so I can whisper it. I used to ride that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I can't. I'm going with the BMW 5 Series because I just it's just a superior vehicle for me.
The BMW
Ultimate
5
driving machine.
Series for the win. The 5 Series is the champion of whips, according to
Deservedly
Tyrone.
so. It's the ultimate driving machine.
Yeah,
Ultimate driving machine, sir. It's a
I,
logo that's hard to beat.
hey, your 3 times draw, it made it pretty easy for it to win in some sort of ways. I honestly didn't think it was gonna make it that far because I thought more sentimental, personal, like feeling towards some of these cars from all of y'all, not just myself. I let my bias be known when he made this list.
Yo, the Caravan made a good
Yes,
showing
sir.
for me.
The
The
caravan
Caravan
was
made a
the
good showing for me.
the caravan was the what the fuck? Wait, y'all niggas is crazy. But
That was my
okay.
sentimental pick.
But yeah, man, this was a good one. This was a good one. Next week, we're
We're gonna
gonna
do
go.
my kung fu shit.
Yeah, we're gonna do the kung fu movies because I know I gotta brush up
Ooh.
a bunch of them. We might fight. I'm gonna just say it now. We might fight if Five Deadly Venoms doesn't win at all. If Five Deadly Venoms gets voted out in like first or second round,
Oh, I don't know, Dan.
I might shut the show down.
I don't know, Dan.
I'm
I'm,
going
I'm,
full.
I'm standing in protest of the Kung Fu thing being next week only because Jamal had his list first, and we only skipped him because he had to
You're
go to
right.
Florida and he wasn't going to be available. But I
You're
think
right.
So
that
Jamal
Jamal's
can do
list
his.
Yeah,
comes
so
before
we'll do
the Kung
we'll
Fu
do
fight.
positive black movies.
I'm good with
Yeah.
the Kung Fu too, man, because that's one I was looking forward to, bro. That's gonna be tough when it get down to the later rounds, but yeah, whatever's clever, I'm good with it.
Now, I mean, Tyrone, I do want to go there too, but Tyrone is right because we was
Okay.
gonna go with yours next because you produce your list first. We was
Sounds
gonna
That's
good.
go with
right.
yours next. So
All right.
unless
All right.
for some strange reason you can't be here, we'll go positive black movies. This one's gonna be interesting.
Oh,
We'll
it will be.
try to see if we can get some guests
That
on.
gives you time to brush up on your kung fu flicks, Dan.
Yeah, and
There you
probably
go.
brush up on a bunch of the movies that Jamal picked because I guarantee you, I probably seen 10% of them. Because I'm not really a movie watcher like that. But them
What?
Kung Fu flicks is a staple. But Jamal used the last one here, so you know what to do.
Yo, shout out to everybody who in the comments, posts who are watching. Peace to everybody on the panel today. Mayor, TJ, Lisper, good list today. Big O, good to see you making your reappearance, my man. And as usual, peace to Ishtar, Disabled Planets, and Ill Magic. Toss over to O.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great show, man. Even though my picks weren't on it, man, I'm happy with who won, man. You know what I'm saying? BMW drivers, man, please be mindful of other drivers on the road, goddamn. It ain't Daytona every time you step on the highway. Shit. But no, man, great show, man. I can't wait till next week. Whether it's kung fu or positive black movies, man, I'm here for it. Shout out to the listeners, shout out to people watching who commented. We see y'all, we acknowledge y'all, man. Thank you. That's it, man. That's all I gotta say. Pass on to TJ.
It was actually Tyrone. TJ was
I'll
first.
Oh.
Sorry,
TJ was here
Tyrone.
first
My
today.
fault.
Well, shout out to listeners. Shout out to Big O. O is that dude now that, when I be working on the construction sites and the guy pull up in the car at the last minute, he still got one boot on and he's squeezing another one in there. That's how you showed up today, brother. You got here last minute. I had one boot on, but I'm proud of you, man. You got to clap it up for him. I'm proud of you, man. That was good business.
Thank you.
You know what I
I
mean?
appreciate that, man. I'll drink to that. Man, I'll drink to anything. But
He had something to stand on today though, because he was mad about my little car list. But whenever you figure out what your list is going to be about, then figure out how to make it, then figure out the season.
Hold
Yo, how
on.
long was you holding on to
We
that?
keep clapping at
How
him.
long
He
was you
gonna
holding on
ghost
to that,
us
man?
next week. Watch.
All right, but yeah, this was fun, and I'm glad that my list got us due justice. I think the right call won once again because we always get the right answer for the most part. And shout out to anybody listening, anybody watching, anybody in the comments. Shout out to the people, and TJ, it's on you, brother.
Yeah, this was a really good show. You did a solid job with the picks, bro. I'm not mad at that. I mean, everything else we was listing on the side was like personal joints that we remember. You know what I'm saying? And you did that. You did that with a couple of your picks, but you did it right.
Yo, he
man.
was
So I'm
he
not
was
mad
picking
at
he
you. You
was
did a hell of a
picking
job.
cars to prove a point. The Chrysler 300 should never been on there.
I was gonna say, he definitely he picked cars he didn't like.
Yeah.
And that's what was crazy. But you can't be biased. But that's that's the appreciation. You can't be biased.
Y'all telling me the Chrysler 300 didn't have
until
no
Dan
impact.
comes to the.
I had a
did.
Chrysler 300.
It did.
I had a Chrysler 300.
It wasn't supposed to go as far as it went, though. It died. It went out. It died gracefully.
Yo, but that car went hard at car shows too, though. Like there was a guy here.
It did.
There was a guy here. I believe he was from Staten Island. His shit went crazy across almost the whole East Coast, like car show scene. That the color blue that he had painted on that car, Cadillac, I believe Cadillac bought that color blue and then put it on their Escalade.
Damn.
He had a special color mixed of blue that was like never seen before. And it was, I used to see that car, like when I was heavy going to car conventions and shit like that. I used to see that guy's car all the time and had all the fucking trophies around it.
It was that pretty?
This shit was fire.
It was that pretty? There was that blue?
That blue was.
Yo, it's funny. It's funny, right? You brought up Cadillac. Yo, how did Cadillac not make the list?
Tyrone made the list.
What? I don't.
So expect this same shit when you make your list.
Let me say
it's your list.
There was never, not ever a time that I grew up that anybody wanted a Cadillac. I'm sorry to say, maybe y'all.
Oh man,
we never liked Cadillac. Cadillac was like my grandfather's car.
Oh, my pops had a Cadillac, man.
Nobody wanted
no
Cadillac.
My grandparents and my cousins had Cadillac down south.
My pops
That's
had
all they drove down south.
Cadillac Eldorado.
Escalades was in the hood heavy.
Fleetwood Bromes, man.
That's later.
The Fleetwood Brome, that shit was a battle tank.
Oh man,
nobody wanted
a tank, dogs.
Nobody wanted the Caddy that zigged, the Catera. I know I like that.
Yo, Caddies just wasn't. Caddies wasn't a part of my childhood at all, man. Like, not really. Caddies was like that old man money. That's what that was.
Nah, I grew up around Cadillacs.
Nah, yes, sir. But that point is valid though. That old man money shit, because that's still to this day.
What was that car? The Chrysler New Yorker with that shit that looked like a condo on wheels and shit.
Yep. That joint, the Grand Marquis with the tire in the back.
The Grand Marquis.
Yeah. The Cadillac Eldorado had the same shit.
My father had the Eldorado, man. Yeah. That shit was wine colored too.
We talking about all these old cars that was made of heavy steel and heavy metal. Shout outs to all the kids from our era who got their thumbs stuck in the door, closing it and not moving their hand fast enough.
Bro, you get hit by one of them cars, it was a wrap.
Yo, you want to pass out, man.
Shout outs to the era when you didn't have to wear a seatbelt in the car. Shout outs to the era when your parents smoked in the car and they just told you crack the window, or they said, "No, close that window. It's too cold."
Shout out to the ashtray in the middle of the back seat.
I was about to say, shout out
to my dad having a Chevy Malibu that had one seatbelt in the back, and we had to put it all the way across all three of us and click it in over the
Oh man!
Shout outs to the jump seat that used to be in the back of station wagons. The first flip up.
Oh yeah. That was death. If you was in that, you was that kid in that seat, you was dying.
But death honestly was getting your thumb stuck in the door. That I've had my man listen, especially
Yo,
them
No.
shit
heavy ass
stars, man.
doors.
No, death
Oh
was
yeah.
having your grandpa hit a bump in his pickup truck when all the grandkids was in the back.
you felt hard. You felt that real steel in the back of that truck, man, boy.
No,
Hey, you
felt,
try to stay in the
you
bed.
felt flight.
You try not to fly out.
You felt flight.
I've
But
been in that
anyway.
situation. That shit is scary as fuck.
But anyway, we're
You know what?
done.
I'm surprised the Mazda MPV didn't make an appearance on that list either.
Don't
Oh,
get
that's
old
what O
hype
said.
again.
That's
Don't
what
get
I
old
say,
hype
man.
again.
Yeah.
But you know, it's past. I'm over it. I'm happy with the win, man. I'm happy with the win.
And we're done with it. As always, go support. I almost said support like the way Tyrone says supposed to. But I go support our sponsor, Hooks Rubs and Spices. Go to hooksrub.com, 20% off your order using the code STARTING5. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.